Article 13 by petition. See if the town will vote to amend general bylaws, town of Shrewsbury, by adding new article dealing with the banning of certain types of plastic bags at retail establishments, or to take any other action in relation thereto. I wonder who has that on here.
Thank you.
It's gonna be 3 nights.
Yeah, I was just thinking that, maybe 4.
Thank you.
Sorry. When I get a paper cut. Thanks, Missy. There you go.
This is Melissa Holliday. Precinct. Miss, what precinct? Thank you. What precinct do you in? Precinct what? What precinct do you in?
Thank you.
I'm doing the plastic bag one.
What precinct 9?
Are you for
You're from
precinct 9?
precinct 9?
I'm sorry?
You're in precinct 9?
Yes, I'm sorry, I'm in precinct 9.
Okay.
One of, what, 5 people? We need some more people to run for a town meeting in 9. Yes, I'm Melissa Hollenbeck, I'm from precinct 9. Sorry, the hearing aid wasn't working. This is a plastic bag ban that you've got the definition there. This is actually a definition that is being used in many towns throughout the state. It is something that the Sierra Club has worked with other towns on. So it's very similar to what has already passed in other towns, and what is going before towns right now in their town meetings. So it's not something I've created out of thin air. It's something that they've learned from process of elimination, education, and this is also based on information throughout the United States. The reasons why to have a plastic bag ban is, there's a few different reasons. One is that the litter reason. I think that's probably one of the biggest ones. We're seeing it a lot now. It's very windy out, and the general nature of a plastic bag is it's very lightweight and it's very aerodynamic, which means it blows like crazy and it sticks to things. So the other problem with the plastic bags is that we're finding that people are putting them in their recycling bins. They cannot go in the recycling bins. They clog the machinery at E.L. Harvey or basically at any municipal plant. They cause fines to be caused to Pellegrino, whatever trucking company has those fines. So it literally is a problem. They have to shut down the production line. So there's a cost to it. Recently, the town of Shrewsbury, I don't know if anyone's gotten the letter, it's in your packet there. They've sent out a letter to the residents that exactly letting them know about Pellegrino having this problem. Pellegrino, part of the contract, they absorb the cost of that. However, in the future, when a new contract goes, into play, that is going to be something that they will be looking at, and any other hauler that wants to be working with Shrewsbury will be looking at that as well when they present costs to us. So it is actually a cost, maybe not right now, but down the road it could be a cost to us. The other thing is that with the plastic bags is they clog storm drains and streams. I remember talking to one of the guys from the mosquito control project, and that they say they have a huge problem with that. These are the guys that are going out there wading in the water, trying to unclog the dams and stuff. And this actually creates damming problems. Yes, it's a dam problem. And the other problem is that once you have the collected water, it does become a breeding ground for mosquitoes. There are also some entomologists that believe that the trash and recycling that's blowing around the litter is also a very strong mosquito vector. Basically, if you have a tablespoon of water, mosquitoes can incubate in there. The other problem is that plastic bags have a very low recycling rate. I've seen statistics anywhere from 2 to 12 or 13% of bags that are recycled. It's basically because you cannot recycle them at the curb. They have to go to the store in those bins in the front of the store. I spend a lot of time, Spirit of Shrewsbury, at Sulco Arbor Day, online, phone calls, email, text, people ask me what to do with the bags, and I explain to them a lot. So this is something that's been going on for a while. The state of Massachusetts, also in your packet, they had a program for 3 years. Their goal was to reduce plastic bag trashing by 1/3. They were able to do that. However, that was 3 years ago, and if we're still not really seeing a huge increase of it. We're still seeing plastic bags all over the place. The other thing is that I don't see a lot of increased recycling with the bags going to the store, because with the bottle bill, that was one of the #1 reasons people did not want to expand the bottle bill, is because they really hated to have to take these things to the store. People tell me now that, oh, I don't remember to bring my reusable bag, and they tell me I'm not gonna remember to bring my plastic bags in to recycle them. I actually had an anecdotal story of being at the Spirit of Shrewsbury and explaining to a woman what you do with the plastic bags. And she said, oh, I put them in my recycling bin. I'm like, oh, no, don't do that, take them to the store. Oh, I can't do that, I can't remember to do that. I'm like, yeah, I know, I forget to. I carry them around my car for a couple of weeks myself. And I said, well, you know what then, just put them in your blue trash bag. Just stuff them in there. I said, they're, lightweight, you can stuff them in things, it's not a big deal. Oh no, I have to pay for that. I don't want to do that. I will put them in my bin, my blue bin. Ma'am, don't do that, because it causes a problem. Not only does it stop the machinery, I said a human being actually has to go in there with these gigantic gears and stuff and unclog it. I mean, if you've ever gone over your newspaper in a plastic bag with your snowblower, it's kind of that idea. I told her this, don't do this. She thought about it for a minute. She said, you know what? I'm still going to keep putting them in my bag. They let me do that. And you all know me, and I'm not somebody that's speechless very often. I was speechless. She also had 2 sons with her. So they heard this whole entire conversation. So, there's that little moment. So not everyone is like that, but, it does come down to a personal choice of people making the decision. The other thing is it harms wildlife. We've all seen the plastic bags, videos and movies with them in the animal's stomach and over their heads, so I'm not going to go into that. But one of the things that a lot of people don't realize is that plastic bags do break down, but they don't decompose, they don't compost. They stay in teeny tiny little pieces of plastic. And what happens is the animals, or sea life, eat that. We then eat the sea life. The other problem is that those little teeny tiny pieces of plastic absorb toxins. So we're essentially kind of poisoning our food supply, like what we were doing with mercury. So this is starting to become a problem that they're realizing, and they are tracking the levels of plastic in the seafood. So that is another problem. Right now there are 2 bills on Beacon Hill. One is a ban to ban bags. The other one is I can't say this. One is to ban bags. The other is to ban the bag bans. They don't want to have bag bans. There's a big push with the plastic and chemical companies all across the United States, actually even in the world, to defeat these because they're making money from it. So they're pushing a lot of these bills in it. So they're trying to prevent people from the right to have a ban. And so that is one of the bills in there. The other one is attempting to eliminate bags like we would hear. They've been in there for a while, tossing it around, so it's up there. Things take a while. This is the other time is that we actually get to make our own decisions. I was at a DEP meeting a few years ago, and one of the directors was saying that, they're kind of waiting to see what the towns do. I think they're kind of seeing how interested we are in having one of these bans. So they're just kind of watching us. The other reason, and this is kind of important from a global perspective, and I really don't want to go on that too much because I know this is town meeting and we like to keep it local. But the reality is Massachusetts, we are a coastal state. And we have a thriving tourist industry. And we all love to go to the Cape, and we all love it clean and wonderful. And people say, well, we're in Central Mass. The bags blow. They blow all over. We go to Cape Cod, taking our little lunches with our, and in our bag for our swimming suits. So we end up leaving them there. The other thing people ask me, like, well, you'd be the only town in Central Mass, and that's true. We would, if this were to pass, we would be the first one in Central Mass to do that. But what we're seeing is, and I have a list of towns there, is that it starts in one town, it's the whole ripple effect. So I'm quite hopeful and confident that other towns would follow suit, particularly probably Northborough, Westborough, Grafton, and that type of thing. So those are the few reasons. The other one I found interesting is that plastic bags are basically made from petroleum. And when they're first made, it was actually cheaper and better to use the petroleum than the tree industry, where they were cutting down entire forests for virgin trees to make the bags. However, the bags now are now being made from natural gas. Most of them are. Natural gas at our one of our town meetings with the proposed pipeline, we all learned about the importance of the natural gas for our electricity rates and for our heating in Central Mass. So it just kind of doesn't seem logical that we would be tossing something away that is made from a product that we value very highly. So I have a whole bunch of other statistics of information about recycling, stormwater drains, that type of thing. So.
Questions? Mr. Pitney?
Missy, so if I take my bags and I bring them back to the market, which I do, what do they then do with those?
Okay, if you take your plastic bags.
And I put them in a little bin that they
Okay.
have.
It depends on how clean they are. And if they're clean, if they don't have stickers and that thing, they get melted down and made into other things. About 30% of those bags are actually made into new bags.
Okay.
The other percentage can be made into other things. I've seen a statistic somewhere that I think it's only like 50% of them actually get used, recycled again, because again of the contamination rate on it. So when you put your bags in there, you really have to make sure you're clean. This is what I tell people is you turn your bag inside out. You can't have any breadcrumbs in there, there can't be any stickers or, you know, the dog's lunch or anything like that. So,
If I could follow up.
Sure.
but they yeah.
So, and so they are recycled. So why can't they be curbside recycled? Outside of the fact you
Okay.
can't put them in the other bin, why couldn't we have a separate
Okay.
container
This-
like they have at the supermarket?
This actually goes back to the whole recycling industry has changed over the years. A long time ago, the recycling facilities were people basically hand taking things off the line and all this stuff. But what's happened now, I don't know if you've ever been to one of the tours down at Harvey or Casella, these are gigantic, monstrous warehouse factory type places with these gigantic machines and stuff. And the problem is that when there's very few human intervention. So all the protocol they have are scanners and weighing and magnets and all this stuff. And I saw a study that the items that are recycled and sorted the best are the ones that still maintain their shape. So they tell you not to squash your cans or your bottles. And so it's all this sorted stuff. The problem with a plastic bag is, well, it's a plastic bag. It doesn't hold a shape. I mean, it splits, it gets stuck around rollers, it gets stuck onto other products. It's because the industry itself has changed so much. We just recently on Shrewsbury Cycles have a new show. I even learned something on it, is that even those little caps that, you know, if we take our caps off our drinks anymore, and, you know, I put them both in my recycling bin. If you do that, those little caps do not get recycled. They get filtered down and get thrown away. They actually have to stay on your things, and it's because of the nature of the industry. It just becomes so big that they're really not capturing that. When you have the recycling of the plastic bags, you have the industry, one of them is Hylex. That is what they do. They have the bag, you know, those really squashed, you know, if you've ever done this, you've got to really pound your stuff in there. And that is all they do. That is their job. So they have very special recycling equipment for that. It's like styrofoam. Styrofoam can be recycled, not at the curb. Again, it takes, you know, another process.
Ms. Vedder?
And the other reason that you're probably saying, well, you know, why aren't these big factory kind of things doing that? Is because there's not a lot of money in it. The same thing with styrofoam. It's a very low profit for these big industries, so there's not really much of an incentive.
Ms. Vedder?
All right, first, let me say thank you, Missy, for bringing this to the town meeting. I think this is a good thing, and also want to say thank you for everything that you do for the town and for educating people on recycling, so it's much appreciated. I think that this year in particular, because it has been windy, I have been stunned by the number of plastic bags that I see up in trees and blowing around. So I think that this is a very good article. I hope it passes. And I would like to see Shrewsbury be a leader in passing this. And hopefully it will have an impact in our surrounding towns. So again, thank you for bringing this.
Jean?
One quick question. What does this add to the cost to the supermarket?
I'm sorry?
What would the cost be added to the supermarket's operating expense,
Okay.
eliminating?
Well, it depends on what happens. Right now, the people are under the assumption that a plastic bag is free. A bag, you actually, is built into the cost of your product. And depending, again, it's a commodity, so what the ranges go. A lot of supermarkets and stores will pay you 3 cents to 5 cents if you bring your own bag. So the range is anywhere from it costs a store 3 to 5 cents to give you a bag for your product. If it depends on what happens to the people. If everyone decides that they want to have paper bags, then the stores will be having a paper bag cost. The paper bags are more expensive. I think they're anywhere from 5 to 10 cents more, so they're almost twice the price. I've also seen Shrewsbury, whether it was, I don't think it was intentional, is that when we had people, we're giving them information about recycling on the town webpage, we tell people to put their newspapers in a paper bag. So I've actually seen people at the grocery stores having lots of, their bags, or maybe even a reusable bag. But I've also seen them grab a stack of brown paper bags so they can put their paper recycling in it. So the stores are kind of already taking a hit from that kind of thing. What statistics and other towns and other cities across the United States and even in the world have seen that when a ban, whether it's a ban or a tax or a fee on the bags, that's another option that a lot of towns will do. I'm not sure I agree with that one, but people start switching to reusable bags. The bags that you can reuse many times over.
Do they wash them?
I'm sorry?
Do they wash them?
You can if you want.
If you don't, you're gonna get bacteria on your food.
Well, that was the interesting thing, and I freaked out when I first read that, and then I read a recent study. Consumer Reports did a study on it, and they found that you get more contamination on that pre-mixed lettuce that you have than your average bag. So I would encourage anyone to wash, the things, because there's contamination. Spray your bag with, some type of product, but yeah, you can wash it. But when I read that, I felt a lot better, that we really are kind of, inundated with bacteria.
Any other questions? Anyone in the audience? John?
Yep.
In here, it talks about a compostable plastic bag,
I'm sorry, where?
a compostable plastic bag. Is that something the stores would be able to use?
The stores could do that. That is in one of the definitions up there.
Is that something we could then leave curbside?
No, it still can never be curbside because of that huge machinery kind of stuff. It's, like I said, I just learned something really about the recycling industry itself, of how those optic scanners and stuff. I mean, maybe in 10 years, technology will get better and be able to recognize it, but right now, it's gotta have a form. Like, me squashing my milk containers is a bad thing. It really has to be able to be an identifiable shape. So, no. But what will happen with those bags if they're compostable and somebody puts them in their trash bag, And those crows, I don't know if you guys have seen all these crows picking, oh my gosh, they're crazy. So they're picking the bags out. So when those bags then start blowing, and we see them in the trees, they will start breaking down, they will decompose. You know, I've seen anywhere from 3 to 5 years. I mean, so they will break down and go away, they will become part of nature. Whereas a plastic bag, just, you know, little chunks of plastic are still there. The other reason, the compostable bags, to be honest, I hate them because they're flimsy and they're really expensive.
But it'll still be the same process, bring them back to the store.
I'm sorry?
With the compostable plastic bags, you're still gonna bring them back to the store.
I think
We're
so.
gonna do
I'm not
exactly
sure.
the same thing you're doing.
Yeah, I'm actually not sure about that. That's a good question. Probably not, because a compostable bag is made from a organic product, like corn, like a
well,
corn
yeah.
byproduct, or I've seen mango or banana leaves, or, you know, things like that.
The best bet is to get it, throw it into the blue trash bag.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Or in your compost bin.
we look forward to your presentation at town meeting. Good luck. Thank you.
Thank you.